Hey guys, welcome back to Clownfish TV. This is Neon. I'm here with Geeky Sparkles.
Hello.
And we're going to talk about Star Wars. And, you know, we're starting to wonder, has Lucasfilm given up on the sequel trilogy or what? Because it seems like they're pushing the original trilogy more than anything at this point.
Well, yeah, because, well, first of all, Marvel and Star Wars were the underperformers last year. Disney threw under the bus.
Yes.
So now they're going to team up. And they're going to outperform everyone this year.
Like the Bad News Bears.
It's like there's like, I can't even tell you how many stupid comics are coming out in April from Marvel that is tied to Star Wars. So first of all, we have this.
Oh my God. Okay, so they're going to have a Galaxy's Edge Marvel comic series. Tell me about this.
Okay, so they're going to have a comic book series based on Galaxy's Edge. I think it's actually called Star Wars Galaxy's Edge. And it's going to be based on Disney Parks Project. So it's going to be a 5-issue series starting in April. And basically, they're going to look at behind the Black Spire Outpost. That's what, on the planet of Batuu, which is in the Outer Rim.
Right, so it's
wild,
commercial for the theme
west
park.
of Star Wars. Yes, commercial for the theme park.
It's commercial
and
for
then
the
they're going to introduce you to some, it's down here, a new character, this Doc Ondar, a collector of rare antiquities. And so anyway, they have these people working on it that worked on other Star Wars stuff before. But it's interesting enough, though, the covers are going to come from Disney Imagineering and Lucasfilm concept artists.
So they're not trusting Marvel artists to do the artwork.
I don't think it's about not trusting Marvel artists.
I wouldn't trust them.
No, listen. If they're doing it on the theme park attraction that's not open to the public yet,
Right.
the Lucasfilm concept artists and the Walt Disney Imagineers are in there.
Yeah,
no one else is.
Yeah, so that does make sense. That does make sense. So they can't have random freelancers working on this stuff because it's all like top secret.
Right.
Yeah.
So this comes out in April, and it's a 5-issue series.
Right.
Okay.
Which means that it would wrap up just in time for the you actually told me
It'll
the
be
end of
August, April, May, June, July, August.
Right.
If it's monthly, which it should be.
Yeah.
It'll wrap up in August, which puts it just in time for 5 issues we put into a graphic novel edition in September. All of which round up about the time that the end of the fiscal year happens for Disney.
So let's just real quick, and then we'll go back to all the slew of comics projects coming out. We're talking there's probably like 30, 40 freaking comic
Well, there's
books
a bunch.
There's
We're going to talk about some more.
Disney is already in the hole. They're already in the hole for a lot of things. They're doing a lot in the parks right now, and they're also investing a lot into this Netflix competitor, Disney Plus. The thing hasn't even been released yet. They're already $1 billion into the hole on the streaming service, and you know, they've got again, I said the parks projects are coming up. They bought Fox. They overpaid for Fox.
Does this $1 billion even count like the research and development, the development for these all these new shows and movies?
No.
That doesn't even count that.
I think it's just the technology.
It's just
I think
technology.
It's the infrastructure. Yeah. It said because they haven't filmed any of these new shows yet.
Okay, so that doesn't even count all the money they're going to be doing it.
Right. So they've lost $1 billion on Hulu and BAMTech, and yeah. So there is. They're going to price it substantially below Netflix, which is now at about $15 a month.
How much Netflix is now? 'Cause I know they raised it again.
They raised it. It's like $15.
It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
But I think what we're going to do is we're going to get low rate, get you in there, and then, oh, look, we're going to pull Netflix. It is now $20 a month.
They'll do like $5 to get you in the door. So I don't know. But anyway, the point of this being is that Disney is going to look for as much money in the couch cushions as they can find, and comics definitely are the you know, to Disney, comics are the change in the couch cushions.
Marvel and Star Wars better perform, and they better perform well. Now Galaxy's Edge, now Star Wars not so much, because with Galaxy's Edge being in the theme parks, they already bet the farm on Star Wars, so that can underperform in like the sales as long as it catches up in the theme park. They'll be okay.
Yeah.
But the comics. So go ahead.
Well, I was gonna say, I think this is Marvel. You know, Marvel too. Like, crap, we are living on borrowed time. Their lease is up for their New York office. There has been rumor of them either being relocated to Burbank to be closer to Marvel Studios, or just
be watched by Marvel Studios,
to be babysat, or to just you know, give up on publishing comics altogether and just outsource everything to like IDW.
So it's you know, you better deliver, and
they better deliver.
Besides the Galaxy's Edge comics, they have another one, which is, you can click on next one. We talked about that before.
We talked about these where there's like a cajillion number ones.
There's like a bunch of them, and they're doing the Age of Rebellion comics, which is all tied into the original trilogy. And then the other one too, the Galaxy's Edge one, they said Han and Chewie are going to play an integral part with this collector, and they said Han and Chewie are going to be in it. So that means that it's probably they're going to be like pre A New Hope. or it's gonna, or it could be pre-Force Awakens. I'm more thinking A New Hope, because they seem to be going back to the original trilogy.
That is the consistent theme across all of these projects for the most part, is that they are milking the original trilogy to celebrate the end of the sequel trilogy by going back to the original trilogy, because frankly, the sequel trilogy characters don't move comics.
Oh, I think it's called we're going to the original trilogy because we're trying to build we're trying to build fans back up. So they got this Age of Rebellion event, which we talked about before, and it's like all original trilogy characters.
A ton of number ones. There's like
a whole bunch, like 9 of them. There's like nine number ones. 10.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's coming in April also.
In April, so everything is in. All the money will be in by the end of Disney's fiscal year, so Marvel Comics can look like heroes and go back to Disney and go, look at all the money we made. I'm not sure how long
it's going to run for, though. But the next one, which is also announced about today, is about, it's a TIE Fighter series. It's called TIE Fighter. It's also a 5-part series.
5-part
starting
series.
in April.
Wrapping up by the end of Disney's fiscal year.
And it's going to be about the story of Shadow Wing, which is like an elite TIE Fighter squadron. But it's going back to the time of, because it's their job to crush the Rebel Alliance, not the rebellion,
not the resistance.
I mean, it's the Rebel Alliance.
Yeah,
it's not the current. It's the original. It's the original, not the current.
Yeah, they're like,
and Palpatine's in it and stuff. So it's the original trilogy.
Basically, what the fans want.
But this is also going to tie directly into a book that is coming out this summer, which is going to also be a trilogy called Alphabet Squadron, which ties into this TIE Fighter thing. Is going to tie into this. It's going to be after the events of Return of the Jedi. So again, going back to the original trilogy.
Yeah, so it's got Hera in it from Rebels.
Yeah, so
that's
it's all tying back again to the time of the original trilogy again. So so we have one series of comics is set to build up this book, the TIE Fighter Squadron.
Yeah.
We have one set of comics that's purpose is to build up Galaxy's Edge at Star Wars Land at Disney World and Disneyland. And then the other one is a bunch of one-offs trying to build fan morale leading into Episode 9, because there are 9 or 10 issues, which puts us in like they go one a month, September, October, fiscal year ending right before the new Star Wars film. So see how this is all working?
That's clever. Geeky's got you figured out, Marvel. We see what you're doing. You're trying to make a case to Bob Iger to keep you around.
So that's what this is all about. And then they're all 5. How many issues do you usually do in a graphic novel? Is it usually 5?
Yeah, 5 or 6.
They're all 5 issues singles, so they can be wrapped into a bundle, into a graphic novel around September when the fiscal year ends, right? Or right before the movie comes out, so you can boost the fan morale and try to get people to do damage control.
It's like, hey fans, remember the old Star Wars that you actually liked? Yeah, we're gonna go back to that. Then we're gonna hit you upside the head with Episode 9, which can't possibly be good at this point because we've killed everybody. But we really want you to come see it.
But one series specifically is to build up Galaxy's Edge excitement. One series is specifically there to build up this book release, and one series is specifically there to basically go back to the well and try to build fan morale.
Well, that's what they're doing. They're going back to the well. Now, speaking of which, speaking of Galaxy's Edge, this is interesting. They actually have a breakdown of the Rise of the Resistance attraction.
It's a rumor. They think. This is what they heard. I'm not told you about this.
Yeah, and some of the stuff going on in here. Now, this is supposed to be sequel era, but it is interesting. Even one of the first images that were leaked, that was leaked from this, is an old school AT-AT. This is not the what they call them, the Gorilla Walkers from The Last Jedi. This is an original Empire AT-AT. They're actually going to have a pair of them in the building, and so they're definitely going back to the Star Wars that fans remember.
Right. So, but these rides and this whole Galaxy's Edge thing is based on their movies. It's based on the current film trilogy. So they're tying it in, like they have the Falcon and they have the AT-ATs that are old school Star Wars, but the rides are based on their films.
Yeah. So yeah, and I think it's going to be really interesting to see how this plays out. I mean, people are going to go to it regardless. Like we said before, Avatar. A lot of people really didn't care for Avatar that much. I mean, it made a lot of money because it was in 3D, but people still turn out.
I still haven't watched the whole thing.
Yeah, they still go to the park. It's still the hottest ride in the park. So I think Disney's counting on the theme parks making up the deficits for the movies and the comics.
When they designed the Rise of the Resistance ride and the Millennium Falcon ride, they were designing the time they were putting their movies out. Yeah. Without knowing that The Last Jedi was going to be the splitter that it became. So they're making everything based on their trilogy, thinking it was going to be the best thing. It was going to be better than the original.
Yeah.
And it turned out that it wasn't. So these rides were already developed before the crap hit the fan.
Yeah. So this,
so now they're just trying to, you know,
they're just trying to
do damage control.
They are. This basically, I think Lucasfilm and Marvel to some extent is basically in damage control mode at this point. And again, I think this all comes back to Disney's going to be looking to get as much blood out of their rocks as they can. And if you don't perform, you know, I really think Marvel Comics is going to be on the chopping block.
I don't know. Well, who's doing the? Isn't there a series? I don't think it was comics though. Isn't there a book series that's coming that's supposed to take place showing you how Han and Chewie got the Falcon to Batuu?
Yeah, it was like a young reader series, and it's like the flight of the Falcon, and they actually have a map and they show.
Right.
You know, so I'm like,
they're all tying in
it's
together.
all tying into the theme park.
All tying into the theme park, and then the other stuff's trying to tie in to somehow do a Hail Mary pass on the last movie.
That's pretty much what I think the last movie is going to be. That is actually, that's why they haven't released the title of Episode 9 yet. The title of Episode 9 is Star Wars Episode 9, Hail Mary Pass.
The Hail Mary Pass.
The Hail Mary Pass. Yeah, because I don't know how they can fix it.
It could be the Hail Shmi Pass because, you know...
Yeah, she's basically Mary after Palpatine creeped on her. Yeah, very convoluted this new timeline is.
Okay, yes. Okay. Oh, I like what you did there.
Yeah, so
all right.
I guess we're gonna wrap this one up. We're gonna be watching Star Wars this year. You're gonna see some really weird shit with Star Wars this year because they are in full-on, I think, full-on freak-out mode. Afraid the fans aren't gonna turn out for Episode 9.
I just think it's interesting that last year Marvel and Star Wars were underperformed according to Disney. Now they're working together and they're like, hurry, how many issues can we get out from April to, you know, whatever, and like, you know, make sure these one's tied to this and these ones tied to that, and look, Disney, we're building up
synergy.
That's exactly what they're doing.
Synergy.
They're trying to save their jobs by being, look, Disney, we're using synergy to promote you. We work in marketing. This is exactly what they're doing.
Yeah, they're. I think this is a company, Marvel especially, that's trying to justify its existence at this
synergy.
point. And you know, especially with comic sales slagging last year. So, with that cheery thought, we're going to wrap this one up. Please subscribe to Clownfish TV for more pop culture news, views, rants, gaming, videos, and more. This has been Neon and Geeky.
Bye.
Goodbye.